I just thought I'd start this video with my most favourite dinosaur in the world. Brilliant. So if you're currently sitting on the fence debating whether you should get this game or not, I'm going to give you a quick review on the game and tell you whether you either should buy it and the reasons why and why you shouldn't buy it as well. Now this review is going to be based on the game's current state and not what's going to be planned along the pipelines of what's going to be coming soon. There are many things that are coming along, such as more dinosaurs. There's going to be things like staff implementation, notification systems, small and medium animal nurseries, custom habitat makers where you've got like invisible fences. You're going to have also rock overhauls, and the styling's going to change as well. You're going to have additional guest ethnics and animations as well, so that should bring the staff a little bit more lively, which I will delve into very shortly and tell you about them as well because they're quite funny. You're going to have obviously updated foliage as well, animal locomotion update, animal look targets. So I'm guessing by this you're going to see animals that are going to be kind of having that interaction where they notice each other and they see each other, where they can just kind of like have a little bit more life in them. Along with this, you're going to have like a research system, you're going to have guest welfare, you're going to have new maps, obviously new biomes added into the game as well. Swimming, currently the dinosaurs do not swim in the game, they just kind of walk through the water depending on the depth that you place the water. So if it's quite shallow at the beginning, they will kind of transverse across that, but if it's too deep, they kind of stop there and don't go any further. But again, this is in the pipelines. AO herding and packing is also going to be added into the game, so you're going to have overhaul of the social needs, which is going to help those dinosaurs come to life a bit better. So one of the positives as well will be genetic mutations and the breeding of the dinosaurs as well, and obviously new species will be added along the line as well. But as I mentioned just before, we are going to review the game in its current state, but that's to give you an idea of just what's in the pipelines and what's planned for the game. Now, depending on what you're after in the game, there's going to be a few categories that you might fall into. You've got the micromanagement, so taking care of your park, managing money, managing your guests, managing your dinosaurs. You've then got the creative side where you've got modular pieces, so you can build almost anything you liked. And then you've got the dinosaurs themselves. So if you're looking for a game that's going to give you these dinosaurs where they're kind of like full of life and doing all these certain things, then no, in its current state it doesn't currently have that. The dinosaurs are a little bit flat at the moment. There's not much interaction going on. They do yawn, they obviously make some sounds like some roar you have got in the game, but when it comes to two dinosaurs having that interaction, it's currently not there yet. They do have some things where they scratch themselves. They even try to they graze on the grass as well, depending on obviously the dinosaur you have. But the actual interactions with each other, so if you've got two of the same species inside the habitat and they're kind of walking past each other, it's almost like they don't exist and they just kind of cross mesh with each other, and there's just kind of it really takes away the life in the game and the dinosaurs. But is it enough to put you off buying the game on that sole purpose? I personally, for me, no, it's not. But for you it may be, because if you're after something with more realism in the dinosaurs, then a game like Jurassic World Evolution is going to fill that hole perfectly, because those dinosaurs in that game are very, very good. They interact with each other. They seem to have a lot of life going on in them. But in this game, in its current state, I would say that no, it's not. Is it due for development and in the plan to be implemented? Yes, it is. But again, this is going to be down to time and patience. There are some implementations of a lifelike of the dinosaur, so they do interact with the food laying around, so you've got the troughs, etc. They do go and eat that. They do drink from water as well, and they do tend to use things like their paws or hands or whatever you want to call them when they scratch themselves. The long neck type of dinosaurs, such as the Brachiosaurus for instance, or the Camarasaurs, they will move their head to kind of scratch the back of them, and you'll see them move their head down and to the side as well. So you have got these kind of little things in there, and I do believe along the line these will be improved. You will find as well with other dinosaurs, a bit like the Dinosaurus, where they are kind of doing a lot more with their kind of hands. It's their tiny little flappy little wings where they're kind of moving around. They kind of have stretches. You see things when they're laying down, they're yawning, they get up, they have kind of a little stretch, you see them move their head. So you have got things like that which add into it. But again, the interaction between the two dinosaurs that we like to see, and maybe even a herbivore and a carnivore, you want to see that kind of brutal fighting scenes, that's not there at the moment. Now, going on to the graphics of the game, it looks very nice. There are some room for improvements on terms of the graphics. Now, the lighting effects of certain things in the game, there are a lack of shadows of certain structures and items where it really takes away the kind of realism of the game. And also the level of detail in the distance when you zoom in and out of certain structures, even trees for instance, they kind of lose a lot of texture and the resolution has to really be reduced. Now, I think this has been done because it's to help performance on the lower end of the PCs, but I did notice comparing beta to this early access, the beta actually had more detail in the trees in the distance, but again, it didn't run as well as it does now. And to give you an example of the footage that you're seeing now, I'm running this in 4K at the moment, but I'm also using an RTX 3090 and a 5950X CPU. and you can see sometimes already there's a little bit of lag on certain things. Now, in some of my previous builds, which was in the beta, there was some items where if you managed to get a really large park, you would find it kind of slow the game down. And one of the main things that I found about this was that the amount of trees on the land itself would have a big impact on your performance. And also, when you're building modular structures, say you're building like a 2-story building, you've got like a lower floor with detail involved in such as benches, and you've got a top floor which has got windows, screens, maybe some foliage laying around, some rock work and stuff like that. It's going to really affect the performance in your game. So depending on how much that you have inside of a certain area, say you've got, for instance, 5,000 modular pieces in 5 or 6 different structures that you've built, believe it or not, it does add up to that. You can have this performance kind of drop when you get close to it. Now we've covered the performance side of the game, we want to have a look at the actual game itself and what you've got available to you when you play it. You're offered a sandbox mode, you're offered a kind of a option to have creative or even a tycoon, which kind of allows you to have a little bit more of a management skill within the game. Now the management options in the game where you can actually build your park and make money, a bit like, again, like Planet Zoo, where you've got a certain amount of funds and you want to kind of make the game where you want to run your park, make some profits, get things going in and out and see how they work. So the guests, they're very similar to the actual dinosaurs themselves. There's not much going on with them, there's not much life in them. They tend to just walk wherever they find a path or anything at a certain angle. Now also what I found out is if you was to build multi-floor, so say you've got 3 floors in the structure you've built, they only tend to go to the bottom. Very rarely do they venture up the stairs to the next platform or the next level. There's no interaction with like a kiosk or like a small cafe or even the pre-built prefabs in the game. There's no interaction going on. They don't sit down on the benches either. So in their current state, they just kind of wander around like a lost granny who's in a park somewhere, and they're just, yeah, kind of walking around. There's not groups either, so they walk around on their own. Everyone's separated. Is that a game breaker again? No, I don't think it is, but again, it is something that is meant to be improved upon during early access. So overall, I would personally say yes to buy it if you want to look at the park management side of the game and not concentrate too much about the dinosaurs' lifelike and the realism of what they're doing in your park. Now, if you're after dinosaurs that are going to be fighting each other, interacting with each other and things, then I would say probably no, this game isn't ready for you yet. Or maybe, you know, when it's planned to be developed, you know, if that does come down the pipelines, again, it's always, you know, until it's there, it's hard to say it's going to happen. But, you know, if that's what you're after, then no, you're probably better off playing a different game to this one in its current state. Now, I'll give this review based on my honest opinion and what I like about it. I mean, I've pumped in some almost, I think it's about 209 hours now I've played this game for since the beta release. I always like games like Roller Coaster Tycoon as well, all those sort of games. They were my first park management games. Then I had like Theme Hospital and those type of like micromanagement sims. So it appeals to me in that terms, and it also appeals to me in the building terms, which is why I enjoy the game quite a lot. And I think that if you like that as well, then I think you won't be disappointed on that basis. So I hope you found this review quite helpful. I've tried to give it a very equal view on it, so I've told you the negatives of the game and I've told you the positives of the game. Obviously you need to make a decision on yourselves whether you want to do that or not. And yeah, so I hope you find that very helpful, and I hope you make the right decision for yourself. Thank you, Godfrey, and I hope if you do get the game, I hope you enjoy it as well. So thank you for stopping by, thanks for watching, see you later, bye bye.